Sometimes people politicize non-political matters for mileage. Job Scala was arrested for speaking on More Blessing Alice's matter for inciting supporters to commit violence.
The whole family shall perish. We are going to revenge. Whichever way we are going to do, the family shall suffer. You might not hear about this family once more again. It will be wiped from the face of the earth.
Job Scala is inciting violence against who? Which family? When he made that speech, was the perpetrator not yet arrested? Because the perpetrator got arrested. Was he politicking, political rhetoric, or he was in distress? Or was he? More Blessing Alice suspected killer Pius Mkandi Jamba provided details on how he murdered opposition CCC activist on May 24 before chopping her body into 3 pieces. The vast media is putting forward More Blessing Ali as a CCC activist. Oh, the person was a CCC activist. They could as well have been a Muslim or a Catholic. The murderer could have been, let's say, a Christian or a Seventh-day. Then can we say a Christian killed a Muslim or a Seventh-day killed a Catholic? Oh, such headlines are made by manipulators whose agenda obviously is to manipulate. Now, what's the manipulation for?
There are many people who have volunteered to do the business for them to make sure that the avenging shall be done.
Hello, Mdala Job Scala. Hakuna kumdala kune mnaolewa lezani PF mdala batokona nodila nawo mdala mdala mukangotona mbijana mdala isina but still yapapata mukufunile ka mdala chimutona yo ka mdala tasanza ya time ka mdala usunguna ka something mdala.
We are live in Nyatsime.
Now this is the systematic vandalization that has been happening at my house, perpetrated by the fools next door. First they vandalize my door, then some fools think they can just enter my yard. More on this later, because I'm giving the St. Mary's police station officer some time so that he can do whatever he's doing. If it's a rope, then it's a long rope, this one. TR215 RRB 531 9154. So far it's almost 2 weeks. I don't know if it's the time it's supposed to take, or we have more in the system, or maybe there's some part I'm supposed to play. I think I have more than adequate resources. Of course, I'm not soliciting for corruption, but actually if there's corruption, I end it. Right, I'll talk about this. So far I've just talked about the physical aspect. I'm not talking about the group bullying or the terrorization and the emotional assaults, all those things.
What happened recently in the Nyatsime township of Chitungwiza is deplorable and should never be repeated.
When the president speaks, I expect action from all ministries. Remember, hooligans go where people gather to look for opportunities, evil opportunities to create stories. That's why you see these political rallies, these politicized funerals are always mad with such people. Let's say this was the case. How much damage has this demagoguery caused? Job Scala is somebody who committed his entire life to saving and championing. Obviously because he has love for people, he has feelings. I'm talking on the basis of his commitment only. I'm not talking on the basis of his ideology. Personally, I wouldn't expect someone like him to lack diplomacy to an extent of making the speech that he did make, unless it was political rhetoric. At the same time, an issue like such cannot be used for political rhetoric. That would be barbaric. You can at least talk about vegetables and paprika. Reading from the body language of Job Scala, it looks like he was really touched, because from my studies of his speech pattern which he uses when he wants to touch people, let's say when he has no substance, I'm not saying he has no substance or he has substance, when he has no substance he has this strategy which he uses. In this case, it doesn't seem like he's pretending or he has become a good actor. If not, it seems he was made really impulsive, of course, by the people who came forward and offered to do the job. To do the job for what? What for? At what cost? Obviously, for one to lie, they have to know the truth, so they are the perpetrator. Job Scala is a qualified lawyer who took more years than many people take to complete law school. I don't expect him to be put under duress, unless he was not operating from his brain, but impulse, of course. Remember, this happened in Chitungwiza, where I currently stay. If you listen to my voice already, I've snapped. I deal with such hooligans, robbers and murderers every day, like at this moment as I make this video. Obviously, such uneducated fools and criminals cannot mastermind and prevail against a think tank like me. Hence, why, in this case, why they have to resort to creating stories like such. Take a look. This is at my house more than 1 year ago, and I have more than 300 gig more. Get off my hand. Go and get lives, satanic people. This one is another thief that I caught, and this relates to the Mashingo skeleton thieves. This is a young man who comes from a well-off family, but there are senior devil advocates who target such youth and hold them at ransom. First, they make them to steal from their own families, then they have nowhere to go. But still, these youths, if they don't escape, they become the senior nobodies. Same thing we see happening in the movie Everyone's Child.
They decided to stay with us.
You see, hey, no problem, Blaz. You already put your deposit.
I'm not interested.
Please, I'll do what you say. I'll come back this evening.
Drink.
Every man has.
However, the kid from Everyone's Child had already been abandoned by ignorant relatives who later got an awakening. The issue of the sister needs its own video because this is an issue that is rampant in Zimbabwe. Micro, subliminal human trafficking. Now this kid had just come from the rurals. I'm just saying that to show that he had no criminal record, unless he had criminal record in the rurals. Maybe it's him who came from with it from the rurals. But you see here, he is wearing a reflector that is more related with security guard. And when people spot them at night, they would feel safe. Remember the robbers that robbed King Shadi Ezondo wearing Mapostori white garment. Then this skeleton reflector is mainly used by runners, night runners, who are used by fake spiritualists to masquerade as ghosts. Masquerade in Shona Shigure. Now this issue of masquerading as ghosts is also used to hold people hostage, psychological hostage. Like there are those thieves that usually say, that's what they do to manipulate these young kids to steal for them.
Pius Jumbo, the person who is alleged the killer, was More Blessing son's age.
So this persona inhumane killed somebody the age of their own mother.
Let's stay with the story and speak to More Blessing's brother, Washington Ali. Mr. Ali,
My sister was murdered, and we only learned that she was murdered after 18 days of looking and searching for her. Once, all along, we have been doing it as a family, friends, and the Triple C party that More Blessing was affiliated to.
They were doing it with friends, family, and the Triple C political party. People who were serving. Take note. And also take note that it is not about the political party. All political parties have their own morals.
The officer who took the case clearly stated that they are still trying to receive this. After an interview on Facebook with a reporter, Zim-I Reports, 2 hours after Zim-I Report, we saw a report coming from the police.
There was no action from the police until after the report from Zim-I, or maybe the action coincided with the report from Zim-I. Individual police officer incompetence can affect the image of the entire police of the entire nation. As this guy is saying, he's saying the things which the police officer was saying. Was he biased? Or maybe it's the fact that these guys, when they finish school, they just go for training to the office, right? They don't have any wisdom yet. They don't have any good public relations. One officer cannot help you just because you are smarter than them. Oh, you officer, I don't think you are ignorant. I think you are pretending. Listen to me. I'm your boss. No disrespect. Of course, I'm the boss, but I'm expressing a point. That is taboo. Taboo to who? To the ignorant. So I'm not saying I'm wrong or explaining being wrong. No, I'm saying if you think I'm wrong, you are wrong. Now we respect based on capacity, office from which they are deployed. The law, being the executors of law. No police officer should think if they are incompetent on the job, no action can be taken against them. It has to be taken immediately. People just do not have the knowledge, the simple knowledge of some things that could be doing, and we could be avoiding some troubles, some moles we have filling our police stations. Actually, it's part of the police to educate us that when the police fail to police, we should police them. We shouldn't be afraid of the police criminals secure in the presence of the police than non-criminals.
Coming from the police, which was stating some things that when you look at them, you ask yourself questions whether we've got a police station in Zimbabwe, a police force in Zimbabwe. So what they are alluding to is there was a love affair. It was, I think, a story that they were making up, a story that they then gave to the police because they are the police, they are the ones.
Now some level of foolery is so low, so demeaning, that sometimes when I look at some perpetrators, when I'm about to feel sympathy, trying to calculate what's happening in the mind of this person, then I remind myself, oh, it's the determination they have to kill. Oh, how had I forgotten that suicide bombers exist? I see adults being reduced to being little babies, to being worse than monkeys. It's sad how the devil tosses. They create all those stories, those old moral stories, because they know what morality is. They know what's wrong, what's right. They know what they'll be doing. It's deliberate, it's premeditated, it's calculated. It's evil. It's sin, not a mistake. Story making up. It's not surprising that some of these police officers, they sympathize with these perpetrators because they will actually be knowing them. But knowing them in which capacity? This is the root of the issue now. This has to be investigated. Knowing them how? Knowing them as who? Remember, these police officers stay in communities that we do stay in. They stay in homes that we do stay in. And remember, their level of enlightenment differs from person to person. Another issue on the police issue, I don't know why this police only act after there's a call from another office. They will act, meaning those offices are effective. But this law office, what's wrong with them? Is it an issue of the security of the individual police officers who can't transfer or don't have the courage to ask to be transferred? Saying it, they work hand in hand with these fucking criminals for Pondo.
They then gave to the police because they are the police, they are the ones who does everything. The police in Zimbabwe were fearing to go into Nyatsime in Tungwiza because they were saying, we fear the likes of Chisango in there. He is feared. He works with a gang and they terrorize people in that particular area. And I'm actually shocked.
So the police were fearing going into an area. National police, a murder case. Don't they have weapons? Don't they have support units? Or they knew that this guy was related, or was he related to this case? If he was related to this case, did they know of the case before it was reported? Has Chisango anything to do with this case? Does he stop the police from doing their job?
We were going to do the search in the area is when I think they feared that, oh my God, what's going to happen here? That's when we heard that she was found. And I was in London at the embassy where...
How then was she found? Did Chisango do anything? Now that something was done, what about cases that follow? We have low-life criminal syndicates in every aspect in life that manipulate basic human instincts, basic human responses, to the extent of having people like Job Scala in prison who could be doing things for people in the community. Political parties dividing, the ruling party and the party that is ruling with the ruling party. The police, all those guys. This is where the cleanup has to begin. On the issue of some of these police officers being incompetent, the issue is simple. Vazhinji vachona maghetto youth, brain dzechighetto youth. How can any sane person be afraid of a criminal? Kutya munhu anonyangira, hauna panonyangirika pachona. Saka uri kutyire chii munhu anonyangira? Why? Because you have a picture of somebody who gave up on anything. Ati inini handina chandinobogona kuita inini ndangosarudza kuba. Remember those bullies vanoona kuchikoro vanozongoiswa pagroup 5 because hakuna groups vanobira vana mazai vanoita munhu anosvika grade 7 asikagona kunyora zita rake paanozogona kunyora chaanenge angogona kunyora vanhu mutoilet nemadhoti kumadziro. Now what type of people murder people? Who murders who and what for? Remember the Murewa murder. That kid, who killed him?
Ndasunga makumbo ndoba pane type yebanga rataitwa amuda kuti shirinyi pati sinzi ndakamutsimbirira uku nekuku akashaya pawo saka maoko aenda plastic mawo musoro wakaenda plastic mawo.
Now this guy is talking about how they killed a 7-year-old. Take note how they put attention to following the procedures of the devil. Makumbo kwao, msoro kwao, all that nonsense. Remember, this guy is somebody who knew this young child. They could call them to their house. It's unbelievable that people kill people to people who kill people because they don't want you to know that people kill people. But these people who kill people are not people. You want to use the devil's work to get the blessings of God. Just admit that I don't know and read the Bible. Follow that with that same. Now one stupid murderer and one stupid liar have all the nation in commotion. Now back to me, right here. Over many years ago, there are some fools who stay here in my neighborhood who have been masquerading, spreading misinformation about my videos about Mnangagwa. Of course, I criticize Mnangagwa, right? What you thought I was doing for you, I was doing for people who love me, who shed tears for me. Of course, I criticize Mnangagwa.
Mnangagwa anela kustana da ubisa bamugabe bashigaro bamugabe banubisa bashigaro ne kap inobisa bamugabe bashigaro seyi pasine mandu bana bamugabe bantu bamubisa bashigaro ne kap ndikade kwabisa bashigaro ili ndiribo bashigaro president office.
Criticizing is dissing somebody for their own good. Don't forget that. In fact, I don't criticize. I'm a think tank. I give hypotheses. They are so shallow-minded that they don't know what criticizing is, what criticism is. Obviously, they know what is really going on and they look for loopholes to create their own stories. Like in this video, I mentioned the Murewa murder. They will go around and tell that one hates Murewa people, that one hates Murewa people. I'm also from Murewa. My grandmother is from Murewa. But they later on came to my house and told me to kill myself or they would go and kill my mother. However, I'm a human being. May their own mother rest in peace. About condolences, I don't know if they want any. I banned them from my house and they made a story out of it. Then to see them trying to speak with my family, trying to separate my family, just like same strategies they used to separate people from other people, cause in fights, cause out fights, all those things. What do thieves and robbers do when they get caught? They pointed gun at you, they want you dead. I know all the fools who want me dead. I just wonder if they did the same to my father. We are still in Chitungwiza here. Remember same strategy they used on Chaminuka. They even sent children, kids. Massive child abuse and child neglect. It's a pity when I see fools who failed even in grade 1 trying to understand somebody like me, trying to understand everything I'll be doing. Familiar spirits who follow families, monitoring spirits. I don't even know. I'm not limited to a trade or to a field or to a title. I can do anything and everything. Anything I want to do, I do. What I know is I excel. I've never lost at anything. Only sacrifices to people who know I sacrifice for other people and they think they are winning. Maybe for the sake of those who want to know something. If you want to know something, first accept that I don't know something about something. I don't know anything about it. Then you learn about it. Then you know about it. As for being me, I'm the only one that my father placed upon this earth. As for the lazy who have chosen to do the work of the devil, to be the devil's advocates, to advocate for the devil's rights, I will not talk about the defeat of Goliath or the defeat on the cross. I'm going to talk something you can understand. What has the death of Tongogara been for? The death of Herbert Chitepo been for? The death of all those who perished during the Chimurenga War? What has it been for? Now take a look. Britain now is investigating this job scholar arrest issue and they're sending their people to check into the issue. Is it going to mean more sanctions incited by Meselu Scout style bootlickers, hooligans? Obviously, you know these hooligans, they are sellouts. That's what they do. They create stories that cause despondency. The same hooligans that Harare CBD, same hooligans that victimize tobacco farmers, the same hooligans that rob people at Makandiwa churches, the same hooligans that rob people at Magaya, the same hooligans that in a bottle store in your area, they'll be sitting at the counter counting your money, looking forward to victimize you. Those same hooligans are the same hooligans that attend all political party rallies. They are at MDC, they are at ZANU-PF, they have all regalia in their houses. Not only regalia in their houses, they have military uniform, they have police uniform. We'll talk more on that later. Now take a look at this murderer we're talking about here. Look at the head that he's wearing. It looks like ZANU-PF regalia. When one looks at it, they'll just assume naturally that it's ZANU-PF regalia. I'm not saying if Job Scala was misinformed, those who misinformed Job Scala were misled by this look also. Obviously they knew him. Do not surprise me that that's how deliberate incongruence. No, it's me who cut myself before I finish the sentence so that those who are not meant to understand it cannot understand it. Those who can understand something which is being said but was not said have already understood what I've said. I am not defending ZANU-PF here. A guilty needs to be defended. Okay, in this one, the story is personal to me. And why would I need to have to say I am not defending ZANU-PF at all? It's because to some people with their biases, if something seems like they can just brush it off and people keep on being victimized by head morales losers who fight logic with so-called political correctness, which is really manipulation of emotions with basic stories that stir up emotions and hate. Remember Tuku's song Vuma, Oliver Mtuku's song Vuma. Why did some people who are not educated in literature or active philosophy or something to do with music speculate that Tuku was dissing Mugabe? In fact, the Vuma song can have more sympathetic meaning to Mugabe. If anything, I'm saying who can have been more sympathetic to Mugabe than anything, because Tuku was singing his own personal truth about himself. He was talking about some fools who were pestering him to lay down his vision. Description of this video says Tuku was forced to place on a ZANU-PF 1 million match campaign. I feel the legendary musician only from Tuku's years come under attack for performing his President Mugabe 1 million men match. This is not even Tuku performing, but this is an edited thing. They put background audio. Now why do that?
Vongo Zamuto is a song that I wrote after experiencing a guy who lived close by in Highfield.
So you say Tuku was forced to play on a ZANU-PF 1 million match campaign. Are you forcing him to not play? Some of us are into pinpointing and showing where it's wrong and where it needs to go. Of course, this is one of my last videos about Zimbabwe because the channel has to focus elsewhere to the globe, but I had to make a point. Should in the future I feel there is any way I can advise the government of Zimbabwe, I'll still do it. Zimbabwe is international. Zimbabwe is international, yeah. Back to preempting these fools. They create all sorts of stories against artists, like for example, so and so has powers, he uses this and this and this and that. They incite artists' divorces. Take a look at the story they engineered about Greatman's wife and Sulu. How much Sulu has helped Greatman and that cut to that support they want to create. The stories they have engineered about Alec Machesu over many years, many allegations, many serious allegations. Some are miserable people who hate other people just because they are rich and they are not. Some hate other people because they are happy and they are not. Some are angry at God and they're saying, why God has you blessed that person, so I'm going to victimize them. Now, on the murder, this is what happened. On 24 May 2022, at around 22:20 hours, the accused person was at Chibanguza nightclub Nyatsime Beatrice, where the now deceased Mo Blessing Ali was in company of Kirina Maironi. Now the deceased was also accompanied by a brown dog. The accused was armed with a catapult. Now take note, I'm quoting directly. These journalists, when they write things like "Hey brown dog," "Hey," that's the amount of literature they put into their practice. Now let's continue. Without being provoked, the accused then alleged that the now deceased dog was disturbing him for free movement, and it was also responsible for loss of his money. They come with a claim. What they are claiming really is your freedom. They want to manipulate you. They want to take advantage of you. So they want to justify their evil act. No evil act is justified. Now, let me take you to South Africa. In South Africa, the xenophobic attacks, they are perpetrated by a mob psychology. A group has a mind of its own. People can manifest their individual inner evil desires because there is no sense of responsibility. A few criminals incite because they have their premeditated idea of looting. Emotions are stirred up in the mob and people operate on impulse, not logic. Then people will say whoever South African president is incited the people of South Africa to the unspeakable. Now back to the murder story. Nyatsime Seke Chitongweza, Mukandi and the perpetrator, according to the state, voluntarily made indications to the police showing them how he kidnapped, assaulted and killed Ali. Now this is the parasympathetic nervous system at work. He showed them the scene where he dismembered the body before dumping it. Mukandi also led the police to the recovery of a knife he allegedly used to cut Ali's body. He also showed the police Ali's Hawaii owner cell phone, brown jacket, black trousers, pair of shoes and pants. All these were produced as evidence. Take note of what this low life took a life for, and obviously for some ritualistic nonsense, a Hawaii owner phone. And remember, this is Chitongweza. December last year I got robbed a phone at gunpoint. At gunpoint. Then at another point, people I had known all my life, along with their criminal syndicate, told me they were sent by ZANU-PF to torment me. And they said I had to kill myself or they would kill my mother or my younger brother. Now I've recently got a phone which is just for emergency, way below my basic. And it is a pity we have fools who are full-time into bullying people over things like such. People who squander their own lives, who have no self-worth, have been going for too long, creating losses for this nation. Look at the emotional assault on Soldier Love. They manipulated him, made him feel like he owed them. They looted Soldier Love's properties, vehicles, and when he was left with nothing, no one was there to make sure he sticks to his diabetes medicine. Criminals hide. They wear police uniforms, army uniforms for intimidation. So greedy, so lazy. Why wear that uniform? Why don't you get the required qualification and apply for the job? And also, I'm not justifying those who operate in the forces who are rotten. Of course, not all are rotten, but the rotten ones are aggressive because of the greed. Let me tell you this, your time is up. When you lie about Zimbabwe, when you lie about ZANU-PF because you just want to steal a war, this is an impact on the entire nation. Those who are against Zimbabwe do not hesitate taking advantage of what they know to be malicious, and they will use it to inflict punishments on our nation. Good people suffer because good people fail to speak. And if they fail to speak, are they good people? The devil has no main power, just 33.3% of fools on this earth. Why can't the good united ones and swash the weak, the dumb, the powerless and poor devil? Remember, the devil has no money. He can't give you money. That's why he steals. Those devils you see rapping, those devils you see stealing from you, every thief is a murderer. If you catch them or scream, what do they do to you? My name is Dr. Clarence. TV7 Live is the channel. As always, thank you for watching, and I'm out.
Anzi isusu teri ma CIO aiwa pandiri inini CISO ma CIO hakuna ma CIO akadai so Asima CIO amnangagwa. I am a CIO ananganga. Asima CIO amnangagwa. I am a CIO ananganga. Deve daka wano kuzora mataka. Deve daka wano kuzora mataka. Deve todobo wano kutodobora. Deve todobo wano kutodobora. Deve kweche wano kukweche nura. Deve kweche wano kukweche nura. Deve kodo wano ngo kodoka. Deve kodo wano ngo kodoka. Deve kudu wano kukudura. I'm next to Havasipo. I'm next to Havasipo. Unokona kutoka ira ipo. Wagarairwa hano kutipo. I'm next to Havasipo. I'm next to Havasipo. Unokona kutoka ira ipo. Wagarairwa kumusana po. Umwe wacho anotengesa mbanje. Pamwe nemtoriro. But ini nano nditi ndinodhakwa anorara papiro. Umwe wacho anotengesa mbanje pamwe nemtoriro, but ini nano nditi ndinodhakwa.
My brain power is above chemicals. I did dark when my chemicals.
Vamwe vanoti hanzi takatumwa nezano, takatumwa kuzokushungurudza nezano. Ndisi takaurai baba wako muna 2008 after vataura zvavakataura pamusangano wezano.
Wakarejesta kuvuta une certificate raina rebirth.
Dzimwe mboko dzinenge dzakagara pasi dombo riri paopposite pangu, pato pangu dongo kutsvaga kunditi ngondo ndikaita fisita inenge iri dongo kanzwa mumba mangu marira ingori dongo pakaita chimwe chunhu ingori dongo kutsvaga dongo. Vamwe vanototsvaga dzangu hama pamwe chete neveukama. Hanzi pana uyu dai mambomutama ambomama maitiro akandoshungurudza mama. Ma next door havasipo. Mamwe ma next door havasipo. Unokona kutoka ira ipo. Wagarairwa hano kutipo. Mamwe ma next door havasipo.